I know you're finished with Module 6 and are ready for your DBA, so we're going to do a visual DBA today. Why don't you start and just tell me a couple things that you learned in the module that stood out?
What I learned that stood out was about how many different softwares and design programs there were. I honestly had no idea how many there were. I just thought there was like a couple, like Java, because that's like one of the main ones, but other than that, I just never really heard of any other of those. So I thought that was cool. There's different ways to program and code and stuff.
Had you ever taken a web design class?
I took a web design class last year, so that kind of made me want to take this one because I thought it was kind of cool. But we learned how to like basic code last year, and this year too we kind of reviewed on it and touched up on it.
Okay, good. Do you, let's see, let me go to the next slide. Let me click, let's see, we're going to move. Okay, tell me about the different types of programming designs that you learned.
The top-down programming is when you kind of just start at the most complex level and then you break it down into its little pieces. So you get those little pieces to work, and collectively they all work together and actually create the actual complex program. There's structured, which is a structured set, and it's a logical structured set where it's easy to modify, and because you can see it's easy to understand, and if it's easy to understand, it's easy to modify. And then there's object-oriented. That's the Java one. Java, it pertains, it's centered around different data and its data types and objects. It's centered around objects.
Okay, good. I'm going to give you a scenario, and you tell me out of those three, which do you think would be best for the situation?
All right.
A family friend is starting to work at a home business in the field of marketing. Mm-hmm. You know what marketing is, right? He'll need to be able to manage different accounts, marketing accounts, analyze trends, create presentations, and organize materials. What type of programming approach would you recommend to him, and why? Out of those three, which one would you recommend?
I would recommend structured.
Okay.
I would recommend structured because since he is working on different kinds, it's important to be organized, and with the structured programming, it is easy. It's made to be logical and structured, and it's easy to manipulate. So with him to create, different sets with the structure.
Okay, very good. Which programming type do you like the best? Which programming design do you
Probably
like?
top-down.
You like the top-down? Why do you like that one the best?
Because it's kind of like reverse engineering, and I study engineering here at school, so I kind of just find it easier.
Okay. And you learned about CAD and CAM, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Tell me the difference between the two.
CAD is computer-aided design, and I actually use AutoCAD. I'm certified in AutoCAD.
Wow, okay.
So AutoCAD just facilitates the design, and it improves quality, and it reduces the time in order to make something. While CAD is computer-aided manufacturing. For manufacturing, it would also help, but it's not design. You don't design with CAM. So.
Okay. So you've been enjoying using it?
Yeah.
Excellent. All right. 4 basic elements of a web page. Here it shows our Florida Virtual School web page. Tell me, what are the basic elements of a web page?
There's a header.
Okay.
Kind of like a form right here to log in. There is a navigation bar up here, and what else? There's graphics.
Graphics. Graphics makes a page look good, right? And we've got
Yeah, it improves quality and content.
okay, so graphics. HTML is a part of it. It's behind the scenes, right? To create the page. Text. We see lots of different text. What are some things you learned to do to text in this module?
Text. Okay, well, on text, I learned how to, there's different kinds of fonts that we can use. There's different colors. You can change how text looks by using code. And I also learned that you can also make a link with text. So
what are some of the links? Some of the things you can link to? Links are part of the elements of a web page. There's lots of links built into our Florida Virtual School class. Links you to different things. What are some different things it could link you to? You could link
to a different website in total. You can link to a different part of the same web page.
Okay.
To a different web page on the same website. Or to a downloadable form, like a PDF.
Which we did in 603, right? You did that in 603. You did 2 links in the project 603. One was to a downloadable document. What else did we link in that project?
In 603, did we link to a different part of the web page?
Do you remember? It was the word email.
Oh, it's an email, like an email site. It was, I can't remember now. It was a different email, so we could send an email.
Yeah, so contact information, so you can link, and you can do that within websites. You can click a link and contact someone, send an email, which is really a good thing. So those links, different types of links are important on a web page. Here's 3 different types of web page construction. Tell me about each type of web page.
So linear, it's probably the most basic type of web page. It's basically when the user has to go in order and the current page that you're on can either go forward or backward.
Okay.
So there's relatively no skipping web pages per se. And it's good for a training website. So if you need like instructions, if someone needs to like start training, they can use this website and it'll just like list what they would need to do or something.
Okay. What about the middle one that you see there?
Hierarchical. That would be like a web page. It would divide into like big categories and subcategories.
Okay. And the last one?
That would be unstructured, so it would be like, it relies heavily on links, and there's there's no structure at all, so anyone can just go to any part of the web page, but it relies heavily on links.
Our Florida Virtual School course, Intro to IT, what do you think, how do you think it's constructed? What would you say it's made up of? One particular one or 2 different ones? Or
the Florida Virtual School, definitely hierarchical, because on top it gives categories like lessons, email, stuff like that, and then between each of those categories there are subcategories, so it's definitely hierarchical.
Okay, all right. And I'm gonna, it talks, in the lesson, it talked about effective, how to make your web page really come alive and be effective. So here were some of the things that it talked about. Is there anything, it talks about knowing your audience, content, fear the white space. Don't fear the white space. You don't want to crowd it too much. Being consistent, clutter. Do you remember anything else it talked about in the lesson to keep in mind when designing your web page?
It talked about color uses.
Very good. Very good. What did it say about color?
On color, it says to not make like colors the same type, or you know, if there's like a light blue background, don't use like a yellow background because it makes it harder for the user to read the information that's presented to them. So it would be better to use contrasting colors.
Excellent. Yes, it had a whole lot of information about color use on to make your web page effective. All right, here's some different web pages. Let's talk about looking at them. What could you do to improve one of these web pages? What do you think would be a way to make, you know, pick one of these and talk about it and ways to make it better?
Okay, well this one, the one on top, that one's obviously bad web design because the graphic right there is cutting into the information. So it would be harder for the user to read that information.
Okay.
Also on the left over here, you could actually change the graphics to be more consistent to the website. And you can also change the colors of the information presented also to make it more easier for the reader to use. The one on the bottom, the information, it's very cluttered. It's a very cluttered website, and the background, it really does not, you know, it doesn't really complement the actual text that's written, and it just makes it hard to read and to understand. And the one on the right it looks cluttered, and there's not that much information. So I would get rid of some of that unuseful pictures and put more important information in there.
Okay. Good. Very good. Thank you for critiquing that, those web designs. Okay. Talked about web. HTML tags. Okay. Do all HTML tags require a beginning and an end?
All HTML tags? Yeah.
And what does that what does the end tag basically say?
It means that the website, not the website, anything can stop reading at that moment where that code is done. And that's the end tag.
Does everything have to have a tag to show up on the page?
Everything must have a tag. No.
Okay, do you think you can turn over your piece of paper? Do you think you can write, let's see, I'll give you a blank piece of paper.
Okay.
Do you think you can write a tag to make your name show up in bold?
In bold?
What do you think? Okay. Awesome, show that. Good. Now, would you add a font?
A font.
Font tag to it?
Does it matter which font? Or, font. I would need to know. I forgot that word that goes in.
That's okay. No worries. No worries. There we go. You did it correctly.
Oh, okay.
You did it right. Awesome.
I forgot how to do the font.
Yeah, so good job. Awesome. Okay. Any questions about any of the tags, alignment, and the commands, HTML? Do you feel like you have a good grasp on basic HTML to design a web page?